Okay, let's practice a couple more examples. Let's look at C. The numerator is in simplest form, so I'm just going to rewrite it. But in the denominator, I can pull out a GCF of, first for the number, the GCF of 3 and 15 is 3, and then the GCF of x squared and x, you take the smallest exponent, so that's x. I'm going to divide both terms by 3x, and I get x minus 5. Okay, so here's where you need to be careful. I have an x minus 5 here and x minus 5 here. I can cancel both of them, but what you need to remember is this leaves me with a 1 in the numerator, not a 0. Sometimes I see the answer written just as 3x, just like that, with no fraction bar over it, and that's not the answer. The numerator is 1. It didn't just disappear, so it's 1 over 3x is your simplified rational expression. Okay, indeed, we have trinomials that we need to factor, and these are the easier ones because the number in front of x squared is 1. So I'm just looking for two numbers that multiply to be 12 and add to be 8. And that would be 6 and 2. Those multiply to be a positive 12 and add to be a positive 8. Same thing with the denominator. There's only the number 1 in front of x squared, so I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 18 and add to be a positive 6. And I always say when you're factoring a rational, use what you've already factored to help you because you're probably going to have a common term. So either this x plus 6 is going to be in the denominator or the x plus 2. And looking at this, it looks like it has to be the x plus 6. And then if I try this out, 6 times 3 will give me 18. So this needs to be a negative 3 to give me a negative 18. And 6 plus negative 3 adds to be 3. So this is factored. These multiply to be negative 18 and add to be a positive 3. I can then cancel my x plus 6's. And I get x plus 2 over x minus 3. Okay, for E, we're going to go ahead and factor out the GCF of 5. And I get p minus 2 over 2 minus p. And what I want to do with this is rewrite the order so that I can compare it to this one above. So remember the sign in front of the term always stays with it. So this is a negative p, and then this is a positive 2. And I'm going to show you a shortcut with this in a minute, but right now I'm going to do all the steps. So the numerator is going to stay the same. In the denominator, these look the same. I have the same variable and I have the same number. The problem is the signs are opposite. So I'm going to pull out a negative 1, which is just going to change both of these signs. So the negative p is going to become positive and the positive 2 is going to become negative. And now these factors are exactly the same, and I can cancel them out. And I'm left with 5 over negative 1, which just becomes negative 5. So this all simplifies to negative 5. I'm now going to show you a shortcut way you can do this if you want. Once you've factored it, if you see two terms that look similar but the signs look a little off, check them. And if the signs for both terms are opposite, so for example this p is positive and this p is negative, and then this 2 is negative and this 2 is positive, so they both have to be the opposite of each other. It's just like dividing 5 by negative 5. Dividing anything by the opposite sign just leaves you with negative 1. So in this case, dividing p minus 2 times 2 minus p is just negative 1. That goes with this. And then this simplifies to be 5 times negative 1, which is negative 5. So you can do this either way. You can pull out that negative, see they cancel, or you can just check your signs, and if they're opposite, you know they divide to be negative 1. Okay, for this one, we're going to factor the numerator. We need two numbers that multiply to be negative 28 and add to be a positive 3. And that would be a positive 7 and a negative 4. And then the denominator is a difference of squares. So the square root of 49 is 7. So this factors to be b plus 7, b minus 7. We can then cancel out our b plus 7's, and we are left with b minus 4 over b minus 7. And then remember, we're done because we can't cancel those b's out because of that subtraction sign in between. So this is our answer.